Is this actually going to work now? That would be great. Hi, everybody. What's up? That just did not want to, it didn't want to work. I don't know what that was. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, it's a crazy day around here at the old homestead. I tell you what, check it out. We have a special guest this morning, in the form of the kitten that our dogs attacked. Poor baby. There's a poor sweet baby. Look at that. Look at the poor sweet baby. Oh, she's sleeping. She's been sleeping most of the morning, because, oh my gosh. That's what I came home to this morning after dropping the boy off at school was the dogs had attacked the kitten. So they didn't get her too bad, I don't think. Like, she can walk not too well. But I don't see any real damage. You know what I'm saying? A couple puncture marks. Fucking dogs. What up, Scott? Yeah, sorry. It did not want to, like, I had the whole thing set up, and then I went to, go in and brush my hair and whatever, and I came back to it, and it was just spinning. I hit the go button, and it was just spinning. I'm like, okay. So, sorry, technical difficulties. I don't know what that was. How is Wednesday treating you out there? Just trying to make this background not look completely hideous, and this bright orange towel is not helping anything. Yeah, that's better. I got some food out here and water for her, but yeah, I don't know if we're gonna need those just yet, because we're just kind of dozing so far today, trying to heal up a little bit from the dog attack. I think I spent the last week fixing a whole bunch of issues with my girlfriend's. That's not right. My girlfriend and I are going on a 3-day getaway on Friday to Long Beach, Washington. Wow. I assume. Where's the famous Long Beach? Like, what? That's not the famous one, right? Is that in California or something? Now I think about it, it's kind of a generic name, isn't it? There's probably a lot of them. Yeah. So what's in Long Beach, Washington? Aside from a beach, one presumes. You guys just wanting to get away, or you got some special plans? Oh, baby girl, lay down, lay down, lay down. Look at her, look at her. Shh. I know. Those doggies did you rough. I know. Shh. We're gonna take her to the pound this afternoon and see if maybe she has a chip. I'm hoping we can find her home. But our beach is longer than the one down in California. Well, and then I'm in Tennessee, where we technically have no beaches. So we have lakes with shores. Did you? Oh. Okay. No, don't lay in it. Don't lay in it. We've just evacuated our bowels. Now I get to take care of that. But I don't want it in your fur, honey. You don't want it in your fur, honey. Oh. This has been an absolutely insane day. And, welcome to the party, Scott, I guess. For now, it's just you and me. Ugh. Fortunately for all of us, I just happen to have the tool for that. Right here. Oh my gosh. Okay. What up, Philological? Hey. Meet our special guest for the morning. Yeah. This is the kitten that the dogs attacked. You remember I mentioned I was having a crazy morning? Yeah. And now I have to go dispose of this. I will be right back. Oh, and of course I left my phone laying there. Oh my god. Tra-la-la, tra-la-la. Watch this. It's going to rain, and then I'm going to have to move her because it's going to get like there are some dry spots under here. That's not one of them. Yes, it's a getaway mini spring break. One of our way of celebrating our 20-year anniversary of when we first met. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my god, poor baby. You're right. I also ripped her second stick CD, added it to her music file collection. Okay. Her CD player stopped working years ago, so I ripped her favorite ones and added them to. Okay. Right on. It's important to have your music. For sure. Oh. Yeah, so I'm sorry for the interruption there. Kitty had a little accident, but so we're back asleep now. That's been my morning. You know, I got to drive across town, which I say that it's 10 minutes. This is not a large town, but that little stretch of freeway is absolutely insane. At 7:50 in the morning, installed Fubar 2000 so she could play all her music. Right on. Anyway, so I come back from that and I walk in the house to the old lady being like, the dogs attacked the cat. I think they killed it. I'm like, what? Y'all get this. It's kind of funny. I go out there and sure enough, there's this cat laying and there's just fluff everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. These dogs have disemboweled this cat. Oh my God. And then I look closer and like the cat's breathing fine. And like clearly unhappy, but like not all akimbo. You know what I'm saying? And looking at this stuff, this white stuff that's all over everywhere, and I pick it up and it's like fluff from inside a pillow, y'all. And I thought so too, so I'm not laughing at her, but my mother-in-law thought these dogs had torn this cat to shreds. Because there was like, oh, there was a piece of it over here a minute ago, but you know what I'm talking about. But like, here. They got a pillow, see? And there was this white fluffy stuff all over the yard. No, I know, still poor kitty. And like they got her here on her cheek. She's got a couple of puncture marks and We're going to take her to the vet later, and hopefully she has a chip, and we can take her home because she has a collar with a little bell on it and everything. And she's kind of skinny, so I think she's lost, you know. And she's clearly somebody's baby. So, happy Wednesday, everybody. Here's to that. Ugh. What up, Joe? How you doing? I'm going to introduce you to our special guest this morning and tell that story again. Look at that. It's the kitten that our dogs attacked this morning. She didn't get anywhere near torn up as we were afraid. She's got a couple puncture marks and is having a little bit of trouble walking, and we're going to take her to the vet later, and hopefully she's got a chip in her because she's got a collar with a little bell on it. So, getting ready for a trampoline birthday party on Saturday. I'm taking lots of ibuprofen. You know, that would be a sit-down party for me. I'm not even playing. Watching the movie Revenge Porn. Oh, that's a movie? Gee. Can't imagine what that film might be about. Is there revenge involved? So yeah, it's been a crazy morning. I got home. I don't know if I'm going to tell this story anytime soon because I think it's funny, but I got home after, dealing with crazy morning traffic, taking my little boy to school, to my mother being being like, oh my God, the dogs attacked this cat, because I just had it. Anyway, there was pillow fluff all over this corner of the yard where this fluffy, this cat is kind of fluffy and white. And I expected to come out there and find this thing absolutely ripped to shreds. Fortunately, it was just a pillow fluff. The dogs must have got hold of a pillow. I'm 62 and I have to put the kids to shame. I can do a double flip if I'm ready. Wow. I'm 40 and my only question is, girl, why? But, I am not a daredevil. Oh, thank you, Charlotte. Is there someone else over there? It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, there goes Juniper. The black one. Can you see him? No. Of course not. Juniper. There he is. It's just positively a zoo around here. It's fun. Well, to each her own. Starring Elizabeth Rome, she's a mom whose daughter is being targeted by an online predator. Oh, the revenge porn one? The more the mom fights back against her, the more viciously he retaliates. Ugh. We have Junipers here in Washington State. Yeah, no, this one is a cat called Juniper. You should react to the pronoun song by Schoolhouse Rock. Did they do a new one or something? Because, I wouldn't put it past them, right? Scott, I mostly just ride my bike. What? Okay. I don't know. But you guys, yeah, so I don't know. I've just had a crazy morning, and I cannot guarantee, in case a couple people missed it, basically the first thing that happened after I turned the camera on was the cat proved that her bowels are functioning. So I had to clean that up. Could be used to point out the ridiculousness of neopronouns. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't think Schoolhouse Rock was still around, which it's sad that that's a good thing, right? Right, yeah. So I had just got done cleaning. The first thing I had to do when I got the camera on was hey, everybody, and now I have to run off and try to deal with this. I have had a morning. Yes, I have. Yes, and I cannot guarantee that it will not continue to be so. I guess that's what I'm saying. So be ready for that. This curtain is threatening to overwhelm my muffins, my coffee mug, which I do not like. So hang on a second. Yes, you're a brat. We all know it. Stop showing off. There. We're just stake it to the ground. I hope the kitty's okay, and I hope you survive the rest of the day. Yeah, thank you. I'm sure I will. I don't have a little kid at home, so I have the luxury of riding a bike instead of helping them ride a bike. Yeah. We live in this weird quasi-rural thing where, like, there really isn't any good place to have the kids ride bikes. I would literally have to take them to the park, load the bikes in the car, and drive to the park. Because our street does not have sidewalks. Yeah. Anyway, you know how it is with crazy days. We're just chugging along. What am I going to do? Go back to bed? No. Let's see. A lot of their songs are on YouTube. Wait. A lot of their songs are on YouTube. Indeed, it's very patriotic, but a lot of fun. Yeah. Well, I mean, like if Americans want to sing about America and how great they think it is, that's. I mean, I don't know. Like, we're allowed to praise things we like, right? I mean, I don't know if I would. I'm not the person that's going to be tooting the horn of the United States anytime soon. But, like, if somebody wanted to, like, there are reasons to. Like, no, if they have that much space, there's plenty of other things to do. Yeah. I mean, we have a yard to play in. It's not a big yard. You know, we live in it's quasi rural, but it's like an imitation of suburbia. Like, you can probably hear my neighbors. Oh, look at my junk. You can see that right there is my neighbor's air conditioning unit, which is the reason I haven't been filming outside yet so far, because I want y'all to hear me, not that thing. Which, you know, in the live streams is one thing. We can kind of sit out here and chat and it's chill. But for the videos, they really want the audio to be not entirely potato quality. You know, I want the audio to be like approachable instead of like, you know, this is just our hang session. I don't know. And if y'all can't hear me, you will let me know, right? Like, notebooks in bag. Okay. Oh, that towel needs washed. No. Yeah. Charlotte, did you see our guest of honor? Did you see the kitten that my dogs attacked this morning? Isn't she cute? I think it's a she. I don't know. I haven't poked that hard to really find that out. Yeah. Bad dogs. I mean, I don't mind so much they want to bark at somebody at the door. But, like, that cat was all the way at the back of the yard, too. Like, what were they protecting us from the evil feline? America, you, right, number 17th and everything, right? I don't know that song, but yeah, I remember that. I have 3 cats. I hope she's doing all right. Is she yours? Yeah, no, and that's the thing. We have 2. Kind of middle-aged tabby, and the young black one you saw walking in the yard a minute ago, Juniper. He's ours too. And there are a few stray cats in the neighborhood, of course, but I've never seen this one. And she has like I say she, I don't know, has a sparkly red collar with a little red jingle bell on it. So, like, I feel like this is somebody's baby, and I'm hopeful that this afternoon we'll take her to the pound, and, you know, she'll have a chip and we can just take her home. No, she's really skinny. But like I say, she's got the collar and like the bell. Like, it's a red jingle bell. What is it, baby?
I'm just going to sit up here on the back porch for a little bit.
Okay.
If you need me, I'm just right here. I love you.
I love you.
Is Phil Electric in?
Yeah.
Tell her I said hi.
Okay.
And Scott. Yeah, I remember his name too. Those are the two names I remember offhand. So if Scott's there, tell him I said hi. And Belle.
Okay. That's funny that you would remember Scott and Belle together.
Why?
We went to high school with a guy called Scott Bell. You don't remember Scott Bell?
Oh, Scott and Mark Bell. Yeah. Scott stopped talking to me.
Oh, Phil Logical says, hey, Red Dad.
I talked to Mark. But yeah, Scott was like, I don't have any place in my heart or on my own for bigots. This was a few years ago, yeah.
Really? You lost Scott Bell over the trans thing?
Yep, yep.
Oh, that's a bummer and a weird coincidence.
Yep, yep.
But
his brother Mark and I still get along, right?
Mark seemed like the chiller of the two of them. But they seem like a high strung family, honestly. Yeah. But
anyways, I'll let you do your thing. I love you.
Okay, love you. If she's comfortable around humans, then no harm keeping her around. Right, yeah, no, she's got a collar with a little jingly bell on it that match. Okay, it looks like someone assembled this. They didn't buy this like this. I've never seen a collar on a rack like this. Right, yeah, I hope she's not ill. She's kind of skinny, but I get the impression that she's been lost. You know, because she's got a nice full coat, and like literally I picked this baby up off the ground wrapped in a towel, right? And I scooped her up in my arms, and the minute I did that, she was just like, oh. So, like, that's not a wild cat. This is somebody's baby, you know? Poor little thing. It is. It's going to rain, and I'm going to have to move her. Fuck. She's going to get dripped on where she's laying, and I'll put her over here on the other rock, maybe. Because she likes that slab. I'm sorry, baby girl, but you are going to get dripped on. So. All right. I know. I'm sorry. There we go. There. Okay. I mean, we might have to go inside. I don't know. It depends on how bad it rains. Ooh, next week we might have peonies. Those are going to be gorgeous. Oh, not that they really get enough sun under here. Oh. Okay. Because she was in this space right over here next to the wall, which, like, hey, there's an umbrella for up there to try and keep it dry, and it really didn't work. So she was basically guaranteed to get wet here in a minute. Sorry, big girl. Yeah. And I don't know, that just breaks my heart. The thought of like some baby cat who doesn't know anything about the damn world getting literally lost and wandering around until she gets attacked by our fucking dogs. How awful. How awful. But everybody saw did most people see the video? I know a couple of you guys were here for the premiere. And I watched it again afterwards, and like I find that the more I listen to something, like I hate the repetition, drives me crazy, but I find that the more I do listen to something, I love getting stoned and watching you. You're exactly the kind of person I would have hung out with when I was a teenager. Aw. That's good, right? Because like Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for sitting through the ads. Every nickel helps, really. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you sticking with me. You know, it's all go around here today. Yeah, we'll get her in the shot. Little thing there. The heck was I saying? um, right, yeah. As far as the video, well, through repetition, I find that like different things percolate up. You know what I mean? I catch different things, and when I'm not paying attention to the granular stuff, larger patterns, you know, yeah. Um, and I just, and I say this as somebody who, I like River, okay, but he just wants to seem to say, can't you just let him have it though? They think it upsets them so much not to. Can't you just let him have it? To which my response is, you know what? If you talked to me before they started changing laws, you might have got me. Okay? You're petting my kitty from afar. Aww. You can see her little collar. Here. Little thing. You know, can I just let somebody live how they want to live? Yeah, of course. They came for me, okay? And that was the one thing about that did kind of piss me off, is that no reasonable person wants to go around branding trans women men as if it's some sort of sport. And I'm like, no, you're right about that. That's no one, I can't say no one's doing that, but no reasonable person is doing that. You're right about that. They came for all of us. That's what I'm saying. No flinching, no twitching, no nothing. She's a very relaxed. Right, no, she's exhausted, I think. I think she's exhausted. Yeah. Because the few sounds I have got out of her have been mostly, I hurt, kind of stuff. But so, that's my objection there. And this characterization of anybody objecting as if, but he does stand with JK, so that's cool. No reasonable person is doing that, but I'm not reasonable. I'm gonna be the first transphobic drag queen. My stage name will be Miss Genders. Do it. Start a YouTube channel. Do it. I'll be your first subscriber. Do it. It won't be long. A majority of people I talk to are very liberal, and in private they agree that the trans situation is off the rails. They're just too afraid to say it in public yet. Right. Katie needs sleep to recuperate. Exactly. Helen Joyce pointed out that any male who feels entitled to use women's spaces has already demonstrated that they either don't understand or care about women's boundaries. Oh yeah. Not to take that from her, but she has not been the only one to say that. That's just an observation, I think. Mm-hmm. Right. Misgenders. I love it. Yeah, to be honest, most libs simply don't understand transsexuals, which is fair. We're only about 0.3% of the population, so they just go along with the norm to seem nice. First one I saw, who made me realize, of course this is a known thing. I like how she articulated it. No, and Helen Joyce is, wonderful. And I don't mean to take that from her. She is right, is what I'm saying. I wholeheartedly agree with her. I don't know if I came to that conclusion on my own. I feel like maybe I did. But, it is true. I don't get to do a whole lot of reading. Unfortunately. That's one thing I'll say about parenthood. I just haven't done anywhere near so much reading. As I used to do. How many books did I read? How many books did I used to read a year? I have no idea. Because that was 16 years ago. Book talk was not a thing, obviously. Like, no one else cared, and I did not keep track of stuff like that. But I always had something that I was working on, And I'm trying to remember exactly when it was. Like, it wasn't that I had to give up on a specific book. Like, baby brain is a thing. And I like nonfiction. So, which, as someone who's writing fiction, that sounds terrible. I'm very, very picky about my fiction. And the last 2 fiction books that I read them back to back. And I loved one of them, and I hated the second one so much. Wait, no, there were 3, and I hated 2 of them. They were both the modern ones. I hated them both. I saw transgender women when I lived in New York back in the 1970s. I'm going to assume that says. They were very desperate to disown anything relating to masculinity and wanted to be as female as possible at all costs. Do I like poetry? Yeah. What up, Mary? How you doing? Yeah, no, but so that summer I read 3 fiction books, because I'm like, okay, I don't have the brain for nonfiction anymore. And it was Wuthering Heights, The Lovely Bones, and The House of Sand and Fog, because these were 3 books that were lying around the house at the time. Hey, Mary, how are things? And can I just say, I loved Wuthering Heights. I mean, I didn't love it, like, as in you love the characters, because you don't. And giving both female protagonists the same name is one of those, like, head scratchers that, as an author, you're like, why? Why would you do that? But loved Wuthering Heights. Man, anybody who's been a regular follower of the channel for a while has heard me rant about The Lovely Bones before and how awful I thought that book was. The movie's worse because it cuts out all of the, like, meat of the story in the middle. But that's a terrible book. It was awful. It was awful. And House of Sand and Fog was not worse, but it wasn't as interesting. It was as bad and less interesting. If that makes any sense. I've been better. Both me and my cat need dental work. Why does her tooth work cost just as much as mine? That's a good question. I wonder if veterinary dentistry is as expensive as regular dentistry school. There's a confessional poem I would recommend, but written by Daryl Hine, called In and Out. I sing Kate Bush's Wuthering Heights at karaoke. I should listen to that song. Okay, I wrote that down, so there is some hope of my actually managing to remember to read that later. Cool. Back then, seeing a masculine face in the mirror was their worst nightmare. They wanted to look and act as much like women as possible. They hated being biologically male, which is sad. And I'm speaking as somebody who used to feel the inverse of that. It is sad to feel such utter rejection of yourself to that level. Aw, sucks that you both need to go to the dentist. Yeah, it does. Hey, Belle, thanks for asking. Figured out my cat isn't allergic to her food, just scratching herself because her ears are itchy. Now she gets her eardrops at night. Oh, does she have an ear infection? Cats are bad for that. I saw the Lovely Bones movie, and I agree. It sucks. I didn't read the book. Who wants to hear about little girls being hurt, right? I was really sort of interested in the astral aspect of it, how she spends most of the book as a ghost. I was really kind of hoping for more involving that. And the one scene, no ear infection, thank goodness, just surgery. Oh, okay. That's good. She needs a tooth pulled. I need gum surgery. Good luck. That sucks. That's ooh. Are you have a dentist you trust at least, I hope, or an oral surgeon, I guess? I'm not sure if it's been archived yet. It's about 50 years old. If you like, I can scan my copy. Ooh, okay. You mean it might not even be up? Well, in that case, I'm just going to go look for it right now. Is it Hein or Hines? Hein. Wow. Okay. Let's try. Apparently, Dylan Hein is a football player. I don't think that's the right one. Nope. Wow. Emerging homosexuality and brief influence in the Catholic Church. There's a summary here. Wow. Right, Daryl. Yeah. No, I mean, I did find some stuff about it. The internet recognizes that such a thing exists. But, I have poor people insurance. Ooh. Back in the 1970s, good luck with the surgery, yeah. Back in the 1970s, trans women wanted to look and act as feminine as possible. The idea of wearing a beard would have been totally anathema to them. Yeah. Covers dental cleaning, but surgery is out of pocket. Ooh, luxury bones, right? I have a Bernese Mountain Dog, and I called my vet to see what it would cost to have her teeth cleaned, and it was $1,000. I almost fell out of my chair. Camera battery is fully charged now, ready to go. For your trip, you're going to go take some cool pictures. Yeah, no, and the one spectral scene we do get in The Lovely Bones is like, the reason I hated the book so much, and it's pretty much, I'm pretty sure it's the reason that whole section got left out. Like, there's an entire plot, like, basically the whole fucking plot of the book is left out of the movie. And I'm pretty sure this scene is why. You know? Because she dies when she's young and then, like, is watching her friends and family grow up and, like, borrows her friend's body to do a thing. And it's not, it's a sweet thing, I guess, because it's not like, you know, for revenge or anything like that. But I'm just like, I mean, we're talking along the lines of like Wonder Woman 1984 borrowing somebody's body, okay? Like, and you're just like, what the fuck did I just, what the fuck, what the fuck is this? What are we exploring here? What themes of life and the universe and everything are we exploring here? What the she went to her grave a virgin and we just can't have that? What the fuck is this? I'm waiting for the RAM cards to arrive so we can expand the RAM on my girlfriend's desktop, going from 4 to 128. Oh my god, that's gonna blow her mind. Right? That's gonna blow her mind. That's funny. Right, but so you remember in Wonder Woman 1984 where like her boyfriend borrows a dude's body, right? Yeah, well, they did it in Love Lovely Bones first. But they left that bit out of the movie. And I think that's, you know, I think that's why they based, because it was the kind of the, like the, if you'll forget the term, climax of the main arc of the plot. So they had to leave most of the plot out of the fucking movie. And I'm just like, this was, why did you make this into a movie? Why? What? Why was this published to begin with? I don't understand, you know. You know, and I guess that qualifies as literary fiction. Seeing as your protagonist spends the entire story dead, right? I don't know. The villain of that movie was based on Bernie Madoff and Donald Trump. The villain in The Lovely Bones? Is that why they decided to put Stanley Tucci in that awful wig? Like, he looks creepy. I'll give them that. Let's take an Italian man and give him blue eyes. It's weird. It's weird looking. Kristen Wiig looked totally super awesome in this. Like, no. Like, the style of the film is great, right? And the style of the promos for the film is a lot of the reason that I read the damn book in the first place, right? And then I figure I watched the movie after. Because that's how you go, that's how you do it, right? And actually, I don't agree with that. Personally, and I've tested this out many times, if you're interested in a story, watch the movie first. If you like it, the book will be better and you have something to look forward to. If you read the book and you love it, the chances are real good the movie's not as good, right? So, like, go up the ramp, right, of joy instead of down. Like, at least that's my take on that. All this being said, it's written at a higher level of English than I speak. I've had to make notes all throughout the poem to effectively translate it. Oh. Wait. In the poem, there's a lot of religious undertones, but he also effectively calls Catholicism's bluff. And in an endearing and eloquent way, he points out the strangeness of some things he observes. Right, so like he's poking at it with love. That's awesome. Where are you translating it to, out of curiosity? Butched girl interrupted before reading the book. Yeah, The Lovely Bones started out life as a book. A bad book. Don't read it. Don't read it. Like I say, I read this 10 years ago, and I still hate it to the point I've been ranting about it off and on for probably 20 minutes. And The House of Sand and Fog was just like pretentious, Where like clearly this author wants to write something gritty. So he came up with this female protagonist. I want to say it's written by a man. I actually don't remember. No, not the movie. The book. Right. The Lovely Bones is written by a woman called Alice Sebold. And I'm just like, how is that? How? What? Like I say, like what? She was clearly trying to explore some kind of corner of her psyche. And I just don't know if I possess that corner myself. Like, and the other one was, right, and The House of Sand and Fog is a movie too. Right, okay. The book is by Andre Dubus the third. Which, no hate on him, I guess. He can't help being a junior's junior. But, like, yeah, that one was written by a man, and it felt like it. Like, his gritty female protagonist, I was sitting there going, uh-huh, sure she did. The whole time, I was like, I found her so unbelievable. I did. It was terrible. And if you don't buy into, like, these two main characters, like, his male protagonist was, I forget exactly what his deal was, but he was, like, one of those kind of beaten down middle-aged dudes. And you're like, okay, fine, I've seen that that trope before. It was well enough done. Fine. His female counterpart was, like, written as a female counterpart. I don't know. It's hard to say. I haven't seen Girl Interrupted Me neither. I've been meaning to watch that movie for, like, 25 years, give or take. There are many popular movies I haven't watched either because I love the book and don't want to risk it. Or I love the original black and white movie and don't want to risk it. Right? Yeah. Yeah. No, and I love the idea of headcanon because, I definitely have that. There are certain sequels that don't exist. And when people talk about them, I'll just be like, oh, yeah, that doesn't exist. And walk the fuck away because they don't. I don't. I'm not interested, like, it's dumb. A level of English I can understand. Oh, you're translating it in language. Fair enough.
Hey, I was just coming to give you a little bit of news. Today or yesterday, the Supreme Court allowed an Idaho ban to go through where it's they're not allowed to give gender affirming care or hormones to people under 18.
Oh, okay. In Idaho.
Yep. The Idaho state passed the legislation.
Right, and the Supreme Court let it through?
Yeah, they heard the case and approved.
Wow.
I mean, it was split down political lines,
Right. Under 18.
Yeah.
Bell says under 15, it was under 18, right?
Yeah. I'm happy for the decision. I just wish the date rapist and the sexual assaulting black judge who doesn't want to be there weren't on our team.
Right, yeah.
It's like, I agree with those people. They were the Nazis. Shit.
Right. No, truth makes strange bedfellows, okay? That's the only conclusion I can come to from that. Because am I suddenly going to wake up one day and be a racist or a rapist or any of that shit? No.
You don't think about what you mean.
You can't rape the willing.
I can say nothing, but you feel better.
Why would that make me feel better?
I don't know. Anyways, I was just doom scrolling, and I saw that, and I thought you'd like to. It might make some interesting conversation.
Right.
Do we need to pull these things back so your plants get light?
That is the bare minimum of stuff I need to do over here.
All right. Well, anyways, you got an hour left. I love you.
Yeah, I love you. So how do you feel about under 18? Like, serious question. Okay, because personally, I think that's your minimum. Honestly. Going from my own experience and observation. And it was like, it reminds me of something I saw somebody complaining the other day. Are we really going to tell little kids they're not old enough to know who they are? Yes, I am going to tell them that because it's true. Oh, for under 15s, I'm probably opposed to any kind of cross-sex medicalization. Okay. What about being forced to wait until 18 to do any of it for medical stuff? I'm genuinely unsure about puberty blockers, but if they were to use, I think 15 plus is fair. Okay. Well, and see, here's why I'm not unsure about puberty blockers is, your brain. It's not just your body that's maturing during those years. It's also your brain. And it really sort of defeats the whole point of waiting till adulthood to make any decisions. Because that way, neurologically, adulthood is never going to come. And you see you see my difficulty there? Like, for example, here, first, the structure of Catholicism as having a Brontosaurian bureaucracy, which I took to mean a Catholic conversion is a long, drawn-out process that is unnecessarily tedious. Brontosaurian? Like a brontosaurus? Like it's big and imposing, maybe? And slow-moving? I don't know. That's a fun adjective. The Scandinavian countries have done a 180 on letting underage kids go on puberty blockers. This topic is not split along political lines here. Interesting. Both right and left support ending it. To be frank, although I'm not medically qualified to weigh in, you're the most qualified person here in its level of experience. A lot of the concern raising I've seen around puberty blockers' effects on the brain sound like fear-mongering rather than evidence-led. Okay, I am not doing that. I am simply... And I can look further into the science on this, and I probably should. But based upon what I know about ordinary neurological development, the hormones are integral in that. I just don't see how it is possible. Okay, good. I didn't think so. But I wanted to make clear that I am not trying to fearmonger here. I am trying to ask questions and figure this shit out. In a way that I don't think most people are, frankly. Critical just released a response to John Oliver. Ooh. That does sound fun. Two skinny, bespectacled British men duking it out on the internet. It's going to be a jolly good time. Sure, I do hear you on the development thing, but I don't know whether that would actually be significantly hindered by, say, being on puberty blockers for 2 or 3 years from the age of 15 onwards. And that's what I'm saying, is that I don't think anyone knows that. But I have strong reason to suspect that it would. Most of the higher neurocortex, building happens in those later teen years and even into your early 20s. Okay? The higher functioning, critical thinking and the planning and all that stuff that we are basically waiting to come along, for adulthood. That's what adulthood is. That's why we wait. That number is not just an arbitrary number. And when I say IDK, I genuinely don't know. No, yeah. I think it takes a lot to admit when you don't know something. Sometimes that can be hard to admit, even to yourself. And we all have a tendency to kind of pull stuff together and be like, no, I can put that together. I got this. When we really don't know. Yeah, but the question is whether and to what extent that neurological development depends on hormones and whether that's impeded by puberty blockers. Okay, well, just to run through a couple hypotheticals here. If the development is dependent on hormones, then yeah, it would inevitably be disrupted by the puberty blockers, right? Because that's what they do, right? Future research on trans kids who have been on puberty blockers will help shed some light. Countries like Sweden have been on the forefront of all this, and they've done a reversal. They've seen the results, and they're not good. Both liberal and conservative people agree on this. I actually just kind of want to know what happened, and this was already true when I was younger. I can't even say anything about this modern world giving drugs to children because, in our day, it was just Ritalin, right? And antidepressants. Sweden just today passed medical and legal self-ID laws for trans people. So, yikes. Yikes. It wasn't Sweden anyway, wasn't it? I want to say it was the Netherlands that was at the forefront of a lot of this, right? Are you maybe thinking of them? I know, geography. That would be for adults. Okay. I guess what philological is saying is that you can't imply that there's this universal rejection of trans rights in Sweden. Now it lowers the age for medical self-ID to 16. Medical and legal self-ID to 16. Yeah. I know too many teenagers for that to not sound scary to me. That's about all I have to say on that. At the moment, anyway. I've been trying to get this put together for too long. Okay. Too much going on, not enough coffee. Kitty is still sleeping peacefully. And it did only sprinkle for a couple minutes, but I do like her much better over here. She has a much better chance of staying dry over here. That's considered an adult for some things there. For me, 15 being the cutoff point for medical stuff makes sense. The person at this point is close enough to the age of sexual consent here in the UK, and also there'd only be 3 more years until they're 18 and can make their own choices. So even if puberty blockers do some harm, it's only for 3 years max. Oh, the difference between a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old. Can we text or talk on the phone later today? Maybe. Like I say, I have been having an absolutely insane day today, and the first thing I have to do after I get off here is take Kitty here. You see our special guest that our dogs attacked this morning? She has a collar, and I'm hoping that she has a chip. First thing I have to do after I get off here today is go to take her over to the animal shelter, and hopefully she has a chip. Yeah. I'm sorry, darling. I didn't mean to disturb you. You get some sleep. Yeah. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to have to look at my calendar, but that should work. I hear you. That's why I am genuinely still torn, even on puberty blockers. Wait. 3 years is a lot of time. Right. See, that's what I'm saying. The difference between a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old, and you're just kind of like, no. Only pedophiles that want to block the puberty of children. Well, now, come on. Let's not get argumentative here. Let's not get insulting here. You do to some extent. The way trans politics are playing out here in the UK is really bizarre. It feels more and more like it's imitating US stuff. Wait, in Europe, you don't have the stark polarization on these topics like you do here in the US. You don't have the split between right and left like you do here. You do to some extent. The way trans politics are really, yeah. Is it bizarre because of that? Mainly because of the polarization of it? Okay, I need to go because I won't be able to say anything productive on this topic. Oh. I hate to see you go, but okay. I don't want anybody to be fighting here because obviously I'm sticking to my guns, okay? Which is that, I think even the little trans kids, you should leave them alone in that regard. I mean, Mary, you can say what you want, and I'm not going to, throw a hissy fit. Yeah, I'm not trying to make anybody leave or make anybody uncomfortable. Trail transition is abuse. Yeah. No, I do agree with that. I do. Yes, for exporting our harmful, destructive attitudes to other countries. That's the true reason why people in third world countries hate the United States, not because of our freedoms. Well, obviously nobody hates us because of our freedoms. What kind of nonsense is that? Did anyone ever actually buy that line? Come on. I think so. Aren't those called Romeo and Juliet laws? Wait. This is an important question we're thinking about. Are there dating laws that are coherent with that range? I.e., can a 15-year-old date an 18-year-old here in the UK? Wrong sex hormones are poison. Yeah. There's a good chance that they will hurt you. Mm-hmm. A lot of people did buy that propaganda. Oh my God. Again, I am not that old. I was barely 20 in 2003. I was 19 when they invaded Iraq, okay? I'm not so old that I did not have, was not still wet behind the ears when all that went down. And even I, sitting there reading that shit in the paper, was like, this is some old school propaganda type shit. This is amazing. Okay? W. Bush fed that nonsense. Yeah, he did. I might be back. Gonna go get some coffee. Okay, honey. I wish you could bring me some. Ugh. Enjoy your coffee. Which has resulted in them sometimes saying some very... Wait. The UK Conservative Party is doing the whole trans bad, and our Liberal Party has absolutely no clue, so they're just blurting out whatever slogans they think will be popular at the moment. Which has resulted in them sometimes saying some very teary sounding things, and the next day saying very turfy things. I don't think they know what any of it means. Wow, what? I thought you were 10 years younger than you are. Aw, thanks. What I'm saying is, even I am not so old that, I was, an adult when any of that shit happened. When George W. Bush was coming along saying that. And I'm sorry, but do y'all remember That's My Bush? Do y'all remember how they were making fun of that man left and right? And that was a sport. And it still is, okay? Oh, thank you. making fun of the president is a sport in comedy, right? It always has been. Right, right? You remember that show? And like, George W. Bush was so eminently mockable, right? With all his gaffes and his misunderestimations and stuff, right? And then, like, literally, I swear, September 12th, they pulled the plug on all that shit. And I just went, what? What the fuck y'all doing that for? That looks so weird. That looks so weird. You can't, and people were like, oh, it's wartime or whatever, like, but that wasn't the phrasing, but that was the sentiment. It was like, oh, well, we better all, get behind our leader. And I'm like, wait a minute. I was raised by people who went to Vietnam. Well, not my parents, but like, I was raised by the generation that went to Vietnam. What? This is not how this works. No. I know better than this. You don't just fall in lockstep behind the leader because somebody attacked you. What the fuck is that? Immediately got my hackles up. I knew, even as a kid, well, 17, 18, 19-year-old kid, that was weird. But that's not how the United States usually rolls. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was weird. So it was probably artificial, I guess is what I'm saying. And that was my impression at the time. So. The fact that, this shit is just still chugging along and was before that, that was just my moment of entree into the insanity, I guess. Because lest we forget, like, the Obama administration are the ones who originally changed the sex protection laws. They rewrote Title IX to include gender identity. That was the Obama administration. They were pretty quiet about it, too, because I was not following feminist stuff so much back then. But I was following politics a whole lot more than I do now. Like, MSNBC on the daily kind of shit. I am mildly embarrassed to say, okay? So when the Obama administration did something they were excited about, I heard about it. And I never heard about that. I didn't hear about that until Biden came in this time and rolled it back from where Trump had corrected it. I hate to use those two words in the same sentence. If Trump did anything correct. Obama sent the immigrants to vaccinate your kids. Do you think he's still a secret Muslim? Oh. No, but I liked a lot of the things that the Obama administration did. To be fair, we mostly followed economic news. The gender news is mostly under the radar, per se. No, like, babe, this was before we got together. Like, this was 10 years ago, more. Okay, this was back during the Obama administration. Which I guess technically we got together in 2015, which was still part of the Obama. That's a line from a Bo Burnham song. Oh, right on. It wasn't a huge culture war wedge issue like it is now. No, but it was still an issue, okay? And I guess what I'm saying is, like, there were other things like that during the Obama administration that they, did some kind of showy signing of a thing, and that's usually that's a photo op, okay? Like, that's a look at me signing the amazing legislation that's going to solve this problem, right? Like, I don't remember seeing that. That would have caught my attention. I don't remember ever hearing the slightest whisper about that, which just seems weird to me. Also, did they kind of do that under the radar, or was I really just not paying that much attention? I feel like it might have been that I I was paying a decent level of attention to the Obama administration the whole time. The whole 8 years. So, like, did I miss it? Or did they kind of hide it? You know? Because just subscribed, excited to check out your channel at the Philological Bell. Oh, cool. Yeah. Those are, yeah, I should do that too. I don't know. Like, okay, I'm not subscribed to you because it looked like you haven't posted anything for a while, and I don't think that it matters to you all that much, does it? And I have like 450 subscriptions that I manage, and it's like way too many. And like, there are a couple people who I probably should. Oh, that's sweet of you, but it's not very good. No, I don't care. Okay. See, I didn't think that was like your main thing, or I totally would have. But you haven't posted anything for a while, and like I see you around, so you know. How's the editing coming, by the way? Well, this took me forever to finally put together because I can't shut the hell up long enough, but I'm going to take the edge off here in a second. At last. Hooray. Oh, what a day it has been, and it's barely 1 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Editing is going slower than I'd like, but it's rolling along. I'll probably get another extension, but so I'm not too fussed. All right, on. How's the novel? Well, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I wish I could just tell you. Oh my god. Because I probably talked about it a little bit last week. I didn't actually get to work last week. We went to Gatlinburg instead. So your kitty's already asking you for lunch. Oh. From the thumbnails, it looks like you put a lot of effort into your videos. I'm sure they're great. Yeah, no, you know what? Now we talked about it, I'm gonna have to go watch some of them too. Hey, Mom and chat. Can't stay, but wanted to hop on and say I adore River. I found him about a year ago, and he's the kind of queen I can get behind. Great video. Thanks. Show them Ripley. Ripley's in the bedroom. Yeah. But we went to Ripley's aquarium, and I got a penguin. And but so that was last week. I did not get to work last week, and so I have still been sort of sitting with this conundrum of like, no, that's not true. I guess I have made a little bit of progress, and like I was trying to decide where to send them, and like at least at first, I think he's just gonna go by himself to go do research. I think he's just gonna, because really he's the one who's trying to understand, motivated to understand what happened, and she's really just kind of shell shocked and like trying not to feel things. So, it's gonna be sort of somewhere along the lines of, so let's go hunt this down. Yeah, you have a good time doing that. Let me know how that goes. I'm gonna be in the woods, like. I'll see you next time, Susie. Have a great one. Thanks for hopping in. I'm so glad you liked the video. I'm so glad. I thought he was a bit of an odd turn, but damn if I'm just not so tired of talking to the same half a dozen jerks all the time, Not you guys, of course. Like Counterpoints and Jammy Dodger and what's that one? Shoot. The one that looks like Joan of Arc. I'm sure he would love to hear me say that. Lily Alexander. And of course Ariel Scarcella, who, you know what, you guys? I don't know. Ariel might have me again this week because Other people are starting to notice this whole spiritualism, this whole religion specifically trend among like people who 5 years ago would have, like you would never have believed. Like, she starts with that like 6-month-old video of the non-binary girl talking about how she was so in love with the Quran. And I'm just like, yup. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a second look at that. Did you know Allah is beyond gender? Right, yes, that one. With the incredible rouge, right? That one. Oh. Did you know that gender is a social construct? Girl, they'll throw you over a roof in some countries. Yeah, right? Right? Oh. And of course, that's Ariel's first big point, is that, these conservative religious types are not your friends. They're not. They're not your friend. Transgenderism is definitely religion. Right, Andrew Tate. Yes, like how Andrew Tate has found Islamic fundamentalism. Right. Those AGPs who convert to Islam as part of their fetish? Not personally, but yeah, I've seen pictures of the couple. Yeah, I've seen a thing or two here and there. So, it's sexual appropriation and cultural appropriation. Yay. And as far as transgenderism being a religion, it definitely functions that way for some people. The thing is, I was having this thought the other day. Or maybe it was last week when I was saying something about the difference between how a cult. There's something especially gross about them sexualizing the hijab. Right. Well, that's why they do it. That's why, it is a woman's hidden space. Therefore, they must, it's part of the undiscovered country or something. I don't know. Oh, dry skin is driving me crazy. But so, but that's why it's taboo. That's why it's so attractive, is because it is especially taboo. And it just, oh my God, it speaks so much to the psychology. The clouds are moving away. Skies are sunnier right now. Oh, cool. It's still overcast here, but it's nice. I'm liking it, because if it weren't, it'd be 80 degrees right now. In April, But yeah, so is something a cult? Well, to my mind, the difference between a cult and a religion is, does it help people? Is it going to isolate you and, make you believe a lot of weird shit? And, thank you for sitting through the ad, Scott. Thank you. It's constructiveness versus destructiveness. Is the group destructive? Then it's probably a cult. Okay. But so just as you can take, the same weird belief system, which to my mind, most belief systems are very weird, where you can take the same strange set of beliefs and practice them in a way that is not destructive. Christianity is my most obvious example of this, where there have been versions of Christianity that were definitely cults, and they were very destructive. And then there have been other schools of thought in Christianity that were none of those things, right? And sometimes, it has benefits, and that has helped people. So it's not the beliefs. It is the usage of them. It's the structure put to them, I guess. But so with the same token, if you can have a cult surrounding any weird thing, theoretically, you could probably also have a religion surrounding any weird thing. Well, anything, any idea, right? Any set of ideas. If you treat them in a religious, manner, whatever that would mean exactly, ritualistically, I guess. I guess what I'm saying is, I don't want to just sit here and be like, yeah, transgenderism is a cult, because, yeah, no, it definitely functions that way for some people. On the other hand, there's definitely something to be said for exploring different aspects of yourself that, might be deemed outside of your own personal gender box, and the more I think about it lately, the more that's the part that aggravates me the shit out of me. Is because if you have a little girl who wants to wear pants and play in the mud, people gonna start asking her if she wants to change her pronouns. It's like, no. No. In, the guise of kindness. They're going to confuse the shit out of people that don't need to be confused. I don't there's nothing wrong. Like, a lot of modern trans stuff is definitely religious, not culty. Okay. But see, that's what I'm trying to say, is that a lot of the positive aspects of any of that stuff has been sucked away from it. Because, if we're talking about constructive versus destructive, like the pendulum has been pushed, okay, or like the scales have been tipped, okay, towards destructive. When you start talking about transing kids, yeah. Actually, now I think about it. Yes, we've made transitioning to the opposite sex as one-stop cure-all for all of... Wait, that's not one sentence. Okay. Scott says, yes, we've made transitioning to the opposite sex a one-stop cure-all for all ills. Some trans community spaces do act a bit culty. Now, yeah, they limit information, they limit contact with outsiders, if only by, discouraging it. Like if you've talked to people outsiders, you might not want to bring it up in the group. If you've read, so it's a lot more self-led, right? The censorship is self-led, but it's still there. Kitty, it's way too early for lunch. Transitioning to the opposite sex is definitely a one-stop cure-all for all gender-related ills. And that is what I'm saying. That any amount of, psychological growth or healing that might be attained from stretching out, into parts of your identity you don't regularly inhabit, has been curtailed by shoving all of these people down this road. You can't just be a bit gender bendy anymore. You can't play with that. It's not allowed to do anymore. Which is epically sad, right? That's really sad. Yeah, some trans folks act like that, and it's odd. Like, transitioning can fix one single problem. If your life is a mess and you happen to be trans, transitioning isn't going to fix your life. Not in one fell swoop, anyway. I mean, okay. You can see the logic there. At least I can. I can see the logic there. Where you're like, no, it is this fundamental thing about me that has been wrong. Fixing that will have a domino effect that, allows me to fix everything else. Right? Like, that's the logic there. There is logic to it. I'm not saying that there's not. It's also being pushed as a cure for kids who are on the autism spectrum who will have nothing to do with their gender. Yeah, but, apparently really, especially autistic girls, are just not super girly. I don't know. YouTube thinks I'm autistic because it has been pushing autism videos on me for years, and I finally broke down and watched one yesterday. Spoiler alert, I am not autistic. Because I had no fucking idea what this woman was talking about. She was comparing communication styles of autistic versus allistic, which is a new word for me. And she was describing normal communication, like she's an autistic person attempting to describe ordinary communication patterns for other autistic people. And I'm sitting here being just like, yeah, honey, you're not talking to me because you're wrong about this and you're wrong about that. And that's really sweet that you're going to try, though. And I just, I'm not autistic. Just to put that out there. No. Being autistic has nothing to do with being transgender. No. But again, I don't think, okay. I don't think anybody's born in the wrong body. And we've addressed that many times. As far as dysphoria, sex dysphoria. Can we call it that? Can we just leave gender out of it? Because I feel like that's more, you can change the way people respond to you in life. You can't necessarily, I would much rather call it sex dysphoria. Yeah, right. Okay. Because that's the root of the discomfort, right? It's more like for yourself in your body. And the way the world around responds to you is just like adding to that. At least that was my experience. It is. It's just a strong, but a lot of people are acting like autistic kids are also transgender and need gender affirming care. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying a lot of people wouldn't act like that. But like, what is the possible connection there in people's minds? I know, especially because it doesn't have anything intrinsic to do with gender stereotypes. There are butch trans women and feminine trans men. Okay. Yeah. That goes a long way to explaining that. See, and I've always had like an intuitive understanding of why that is. Because like I say, it's rooted in your sense of your body, of yourself in your body. And, the world around you just being more confusing just adds to that. I'd say sex dysmorphia. Like anorexia is body dysmorphia. Okay. See, dysmorphia is okay. And I'm not saying, I'm trying to walk back through this. I'm not saying this to define them. I'm trying to remind myself. I'm going to walk back through this. Dysmorphia is a feeling that your body should be different physically. And dysphoria is unhappiness with the way your body is. Something like that. I want to say dysmorphia is considered the more intense of the two. Is that right? I avoid calling it sex dysmorphia because I think dysmorphia implies that you have delusions about how your body actually is. Oh, like thinking you're really fat when you're actually thin. Okay. You're right. Most transsexuals are perfectly aware of our sex, even if we don't like it. Okay. See, that sounds perfectly reasonable. And I think that goes along with what I was saying, where dysmorphia is more thinking you ought to be different than you are. You're convinced, or thinking that you are different than you are. Yeah. I don't know. I've never actually been anorexic. I tried once. It's hard. But like most yeah. But so by that definition, a transsexual like you would be less mentally ill than an anorexic person in the throes of their illness. Which checks out, right? I don't know many people in the throes of their anorexia who are completing a PhD thesis. So my kitty is pacing back and forth in front of my monitor. Can't see you. Oh dear. Hi, kitty. Kitty. I mean, anorexia has a 10% mortality rate. Even the worst predictions for medical transition aren't as bad. Right. Well, okay. I will say this then for transsexualism. If you want to look at it as a mental illness as opposed to anorexia, you can live as a transsexual. You cannot live as an anorexic in the full throes of your illness. It will kill you. You have to either recover or you just go get sicker and sicker and sicker. And there's just no two ways about it. Crying up a storm now. Nice. Okay. And I know that you can live as a transsexual because I've met you and various others through the years. Okay. That's something that can be done. You can't live as an anorexic. It's not sustainable. I just killed a tick. It's wasp and hornet killer, but I think I got him. That's partly why I don't like it when people call dependence on HRT an addiction. Like, we don't keep taking more and more HRT until we overdose. Yeah, it's kind of like saying, I mean, I have heard people having a food addiction, but like, you can't just quit food cold turkey. It isn't the same. Unless we're being very stupid and not listening to doctor's orders. Right. Well, in that case, I feel like that was something else that hurt you, really. Not so much the hormones. It's something, why are you not listening to your doctor? Why would you volunteer for all this medical treatment and not listen to your doctor? That's kooky. Oh, are we awake and feeling a little better, maybe? We're somebody's baby. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. But so that goes back to the metric that I use of constructive versus destructive, right? And anorexia is just destructive. There's no positive version of that. There's no way to make it neutral. There's no way, you know, like, uh, because, it's just a monster. It's not a stable thing. Uh, anorexia is one of those things where it just sort of eats you alive. It either grows or you fight back and it dies. Like, you don't. Yeah, if you want to compare, say, transsexualism versus transgenderism, I might agree that the latter is more religious-y and even cultish in places. Okay. Uh, you would probably know better than I do where exactly the social and cultural lines are there, because I'm not sure I do. It does, in a way, function as an addiction, maybe closer to wanting to neutralizing grief. That of doing it itself is coherent with people's experiences of OCD. Okay. Can you go into that a little more? Like, just that bit right there. Kitty's in front of my monitor. That's what my psychiatrist told me. Ah, okay. I don't really think transgenderism does much good, like fixating on this undefinable gender identity and all the other stuff. Yeah, that has the baby behind you had a snack. Yeah, she's got a bowl full of food right here. She's not interested right now. But we've got it when we want it. Mm-hmm. And a bowl of water too. She's just wanted to sleep. See, look at that. Look at that. Look at her scoot away from it like it stinks. But don't worry. I won't go hungry. Basically, when you're having an obsession, the point of the compulsion is to neutralize the discomfort it gives you. Uh. Um, let's see. So, I feel like also maybe we're talking about the physical versus the psychological mechanism of addiction here. In that neutralizing pain is a psychological function of addiction. Um, but like where the physical addiction part is, like, I think this is a reasonable misunderstanding of how sex dysphoria works. Yeah. Not necessarily to give you a positive experience. My kitty is blocking the view. Kitty, 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 kitty. Oh. To my understanding of OCD, my mother suffers severely with it. The behavior itself is the thing that's compulsive, that the sufferer feels the need to act upon. Right, and they don't necessarily have a reason why, or like they know that it doesn't need done. Like they know they've locked that door 5 times already, right? And they have to unlock it to relock it. And it's just the doing of it. It's not necessarily the outcome they're seeking. In fact, they may not even like the outcome. Ooh. That's scary. That's been exactly my experience as well. So I guess you don't have to imagine what it will be like to be the person compelled to do a thing they know is going to suck. Wow. Whereas with transsexuals, it's the reverse. We want the positive outcome from cross-sex hormones, and that's why we take them. It's not the act of taking the pills that we care about. However, some erotic cross-dressers do kind of do sound like they have odd compulsions around it. Yeah, right. And see, this is what I'm saying. Is you can have all the same details, and the way they are brought together, the sum is greater than the sum of its parts. Okay, so you can have all the details be the same, and they are brought together in such a in different unique ways. Okay. I'm sorry you struggle with it. It's awful too. I'm sorry too. That sounds like a waking nightmare. Thanks, I appreciate the sympathy and the same to Mom. Yeah. Same to your mom, yeah. Mm. There they are. Right. Okay, so doing so you can have all the details be the same, and if you assemble them differently, then the emergent system can have completely different properties. Am I making sense to you guys? I'm hanging with my mother tomorrow, actually. Her OCD is really connected to the family home, so getting out of it helps her. Oh, right on. Yeah. But what you described in your comment actually then does sound closer to a more general addiction, wanting a positive outcome. Well, okay, that's not fair. Don't most people do things because they hope for a positive outcome? Like, Kitty, it's another hour till lunch. Not in this way. But with addiction, don't addicts do the behavior compulsively and also feel the need to keep increasing the behavior to get the same reward? Like, again, I feel like that's the physical component of addiction where you build up a tolerance to the chemicals and whatever it is that you're addicted to, or, the dopamine or whatever. That's the difference between someone who's addicted to painkillers and someone who's dependent on them, right? I don't know that there's a difference. I don't know that there's a difference. I'm pretty sure addiction and dependency are 2 words for the same thing. What up, Mary? Did you get your coffee? Don't they increase HRT over time? Like the person with chronic pain takes the same amount of painkillers every day, but the addict takes more and more to get high. Okay. Which I guess goes again to the distinction between physical and psychological addiction. Because, and the thing about opioids is you become addicted to them when you use them. You just do. You become chemically, physically dependent on them. Your body becomes accustomed to them very quickly. So you're going to get withdrawals when you go off them. It happens to everybody, from what I gather. Dependency is when you withdraw, you die. Okay. Now, Mary, you might have something to add to this. Like, no offense, but I know you do have more experience in this area than I do. Plus surgeries, plus other people being involved in validating your identity. Only for the first year to ease people into it. Then the dose is fixed and doesn't go higher. See, and that wouldn't make any sense. Okay. Because, if you're trying to imitate the opposite sex hormone profile, like my estrogen level doesn't just keep ramping up and up and up and up throughout my life. Like, thank God, right? Like, that would be ridiculous. That would not be anything like. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of the same details, but they're being brought together differently and it has a different outcome. But addiction can be like, I got addicted to cake, but I wasn't dependent on it. Right. I meant to ask you about that. What does that mean? You have a thing with sugar, so like I wonder if does it have something to do with that? Because like I'm pretty sure I'm addicted to sugar, in that I want some every day, and if I don't get it, I get pretty fucking cranky. But in that regard, I'm also addicted to cheese in the same way, and I discovered that when I tried to go vegan a while back. I cleaned up the registry on my girlfriend's desktop. Wait. One thing I'll say is the cosmetic surgeries can turn into an addictive thing, but it's the same as how non-trans people sometimes get addicted to cosmetic surgery. Right. I don't think it's an inherent part of medical transition. Okay. Usually if people want bottom surgery, that's the last thing in their transition. Then after that, they just stay at a constant. Right. And after that, it's cosmetic. And yeah. My husband has a pet theory that it's not the surgery so much that they're addicted to. Plus changing your name, using the wrong bathroom, plus any other thing that would move you further away from the perceived malehood. Okay, wait a minute. I missed the comment. I think. I don't know. You guys, I'm trying so hard. I'm trying. Alcohol dependency is like, if you stop drinking, you will die. Right. I'm starting to wonder if they don't use these words, if there's not consistency in the use of these words. Heroin addiction dependency can also kill you from the withdrawal. I guess trans people could maybe increase the dose, so to speak, by leaning more and more into the gender stereotypes as you describe. Yeah, Scott was talking about that earlier, right? Back in the 70s, like the trans women were uber femmy. Right? Yeah, I love me some painkillers. I can see people getting addicted to surgeries for the drugs. Yeah, see? There's another person saying the same thing. I really don't have the experience to speak either way, but this is what I keep hearing. Y'all, I don't think it's the surgeries that they're addicted to. You know what I'm saying? And like, I legitimately wonder if they have all made the connection to why it is that they feel so good right after they've had all that surgery. I really genuinely don't think they've all made the connection. Second button surgery for the painkillers? Yes, they're trying to reach that last decimal point, but never do. Yes, and that is literally the whole point of trans, is it not? Not for all of us. Some of us just view it as a medical psychiatric condition with no necessary connection to gender stereotypes. I look forward to my second bottom surgery, okay, for the painkillers. Like, I'm a trans woman, and half the clothes I wear are from the men's section. But having my ass out in the air going to the OR was so scary till the anesthesia hit. And Anastasia, she's so great. I love it. Then I didn't care. Right. Ooh. Was that general? I've never been under general. It scares me too. But my bottom surgery really improved my quality of life. Okay, that's good. But like now I feel like you gotta tell us like what was it you had done? Did we talk about this already? I'm sorry. My memory is dreadful. Don't take it personally. Hemorrhoids! Right. Okay. The movie Titanic. The guy called her anesthesia. I don't remember that movie well enough to. Okay. So if you're happy wearing men's clothes, what is it that makes you want to call yourself a woman? If it's neither biology nor feminine presentation. But I love calling it bottom surgery. Because it happened to my bottom. You're right. Right. Yeah. Internalized homophobia. I feel like you're LOLing at the bottom surgery thing, but I saw Titanic when it came out in the theaters. I fell in love with Kate Winslet. Aw. Yeah. You know, I fell in love with her in that dress. Oh my god. That like navy blue sequined. Oh, so gorgeous on her. So gorgeous. And I sound like a gay man, but I don't even care. I stand by what I said. Personally, I don't call myself a woman. I don't really care what labels used for me. Medical care transition is just about being at peace in my body and my own body and mind. I'd transition even if I were living on a desert island for the rest of my life. Loved her in that red dress. See, I can't get behind a redhead in a red dress. I just feel like somebody doesn't know what they're doing. I love Kate in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with her American accent cussing. Yeah. She is really good in that. I'm like, that's one of those, you think that's an odd pairing. Or I thought it was an odd pairing, but when you see them together, it works really well, doesn't it? And the spitting scene. Oh my god, I don't remember that. Again, I've seen that one once, like years ago. So then that sounds about the neutralizing of pain, which again sounds like OCD in my experience. I love redheads. Yeah. Many people. Can you objectively describe what transitioning means to you? Dell just got done writing a PhD thesis. Like, come on, be nice with your essay questions. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to pick on you either. But, like, I liken it more to antidepressants than OCD. Some folks who are depressed, not all, have chemical imbalances that make their life miserable, so they take medication to address that. Right, and you were saying that you hypothesize you have some sort of neurological thing that goes on, right? Where, without them you genuinely feel like foggy headed and depressed and whatever. I have a friend who's a natural blonde who dyed her hair red, and I thought of you going from red to black. No, man, like, what do you do? I am glad to hear you're comfortable now. I'm just not really sure where you were coming from when you say you are trans. Wear a wig, a dress. Transitioning is a process of making one's physical sex characteristics more closely resemble what is typical for an average member of the opposite sex, cross-sex hormones and surgery. Okay. And like that's just like to be coherent with your internal sense of yourself. Is that right? Just generically, just sort of shallowly speaking. I take cross-sex hormones. I don't wear dresses or wigs. Like, I imagine you have hair on your head of your own. Perhaps you have grown it long. Perhaps you have not. I don't like. Why would you? I take hormones to transition from woman to superwoman. I don't get my period. Oh, you take estrogen, it is akin to being afraid of your own shadow, which functions as an antidepressant. Bro, I didn't ask for a copy paste. I asked for objective things. Right. I don't. He's like, okay, I think that might be Charlotte you're responding to. Maybe. Because that answer is pretty straightforward. I take cross-sex hormones. I don't wear dresses or wigs. Right? Like, yeah, because I found that when I was off HRT, I was miserable. But even if the depression were fixed, I prefer the way I feel generally when on estrogen, like the heightened emotions. Not cross-sex hormones. Say what you take. Estrogen, which decreases risk of blood clots. Oh. To some extent, yeah, that's being afraid of one's shadow is sex dysphoria. Right. Hey, Scott. Placebos are very effective. I mean, there might be something to that here, but I don't mean to be dismissive in saying that, because I happen to think that there's more to the placebo effect than, meets the eye. That's really interesting. Thanks for the honesty. Yes, thank you, as always. With all due respect, that's private medical information, and I don't need to submit my personal medications for your screen. Yeah. And we're down to our last 10 minutes. So, no worries. Thanks for listening. Of course. No, yeah. Just so I was curious, though. As far as the changing of these visual sexual characteristics, like you were saying, that is in order to come into congruence with your sense of yourself. Is that right? And I do totally understand why you have the view of trans that you did. I've definitely met a lot of people calling themselves trans who fit some of the descriptions you gave. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so that I feel more comfortable about my own body. Okay. Now, and I worry sometimes that I'm going to piss you off with some of the stuff that I say, but I'm thinking hypothetically, about someone who's right at the beginning of all of this. Is it the sort of thing that, would you consider this, hypothetically, generally speaking, your ideal perfect world outcome? Because, like, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't, necessarily, but I do. It's real hard to not look back and say, wow, I'm glad I didn't do any of that to myself. Wow, I'm glad I didn't, uh, keeps looking at me with her tail. That's funny. And mind, I guess. Okay, yeah. Of course not. Sex dysphoria is miserable. In an ideal world, nobody would suffer with it. Same as nobody would say, okay. So I guess my next question then would be, should we then, as when we're starting people on this journey, with people who are starting this journey, I'm not necessarily talking about kids. A lot of times I guess it would be, but like, not necessarily, right? Instead of pushing them towards this transition and towards hormones and towards whatever, do you think it might be worth it to do you think, do you think sex dysphoria is, like, you live with it, and as we've established, it's the kind of thing you can't just live with. Do you think that there are other ways of accomplishing that? Possibly in a more organic way, No one should start this path. Like, that is how I feel about it, yeah. But, how you gonna tell somebody you lived your life wrong? Like, that's not what I'm saying. Because homophobia, right? Although I do think acceptance is important. Yes, yes. Although I do think there are some unique benefits, especially that I've had from being trans. Like I have a unique relationship with other men because of it. Probably. Absolutely, sex dysphoria is complicated and sometimes it's a result of trauma, etc. And someone can work through that in talk therapy. Oh my gosh, yeah, of course. So it goes back to what I was saying about different things coming from, or sort of. I don't know, but like just because you have the same symptom doesn't mean it has the same cause, does it? Duh. Oh, there's that word again. Ugh. We can tell an alcoholic they're making bad poisonous choices. We can. But I guess what I'm saying is, the young person who is just, sampling alcohol in their life for the first, getting a feel for it for the first time, maybe there is another way to accomplish having fun or numbing their pain or whatever it is they're trying to do. That's what I'd like to use that as a metaphor. How do you know you wouldn't have had a good relationship with men otherwise? Or are you just talking about a sex mimic? Because the relationships I had with men prior to transition are very different to how they are now. Well, yeah. I mean, I wager. Yeah. Men respond to me differently, even when they know I'm trans, than they do to other guys or responded to pre transition me. Right. And, I mean, it'd be really strange if not. Right? That'd be really weird to go through all that and have the way people react to you not change at all. That would be really strange. I think a lot of men just feel safer opening up emotionally to someone who appears more stereotypically feminine. Yeah, yeah. Based on what I know about male psychology, I think you might be onto something there. And how, a lot of guys like to use their female friends as like their psychological support system. This is not healthy. And I'm told I come off very womanly in terms of mannerisms. I don't like validating that because it's literally just sexist stereotypes, but it is a comment I get a lot. See, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure, like, that all ideas we have about the differences between the sexes are just stereotypical garbage. I don't think that's true. And one of my greatest frustrations in all of this is that we will never know at this rate where exactly that line is between personality and society and, genetics and sex differences and whatever. We'll never know. Being a twink doesn't make you more woman. No, that's true. That's true. And but see, that's the thing that like we all overlook too often is there's no way to be more of a woman. It's not one of those things. You are or you are not. Exactly, but a lot of women understandably need to keep up certain barriers around their male friends. But being male myself, I don't have the same fear of them. Oh yeah. So I can be there for them in certain capacities that women couldn't be safely and men just don't. Because they don't like talking to other men about their emotions. That's fascinating. And sad for them. I mean, how would you know how to act like a woman if women didn't have a particular way of being in the world? Yeah, right. What is it, baby?
It's 2 o'clock.
No, it isn't quite.
Oh, it's 3 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I just went here to get my hugs.
Okay.
I like watching you do your thing. I just want to support you.
I know. Anything you do will be masculine because you're a man. Anything I do will be feminine because I'm a woman. It's as simple as that.
That's not true.
Ugh.
We don't cook our food masculinely. We don't cook our food femininely. There are just some things that are done. Certain attributes, certain traits have gender keys to them. Or was that somebody, what they were saying?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That was me reading the comment out.
Oh. Well, I'll run away. Hey, wait, hold this.
I'll see you inside in a few minutes, honey. Love you. So, I was going to take that a totally different way, actually, which is that to define something so broadly as that is to make it sort of meaningless, like he was saying. But, like, so perhaps we need to take another look at these concepts. You know, and I tried to do this over the last few years. I ran into this question years ago. What the hell is femininity? Because, yeah, I agree. Like, how can that not be true? I'm a female, so if I do things, it's feminine by definition. That right. But so when you look at what is feminine, it is none of that shit. It is all fakery. And some of it appears to be about as far from our natural form as we can get, right? So to be feminine is to be phony? To be like, no. Very feminine is giving birth. Right, exactly. It's a whole, like, femininity involves a lot of blood and guts and stuff that nobody really likes to talk about, but, like, it isn't girly shit. It isn't. You know, that's not what that is. So, is the color pink more stereotypically feminine or masculine? Oh, that's a trick question. No, but so, you know, I guess what I'm saying is that, like, for example, as a generic example, the concept of masculine beauty is one I've noticed a lot of people struggle with. The idea that a man can be pretty. Yeah, I don't play the color game, so in my reality, it's a toss-up. Ha! My keyboard has cat hair all over it. Yeah, I bet it does. I'm on my computer now. It only took me 30 minutes. Rock and roll. And as I say, I'm going to have to go here in a minute because it is 2 o'clock. But, like, that was an interesting point that Joe brought up because I have been having blood pour out of your body is super girly. It's super feminine. And see, personally, I find it useful to make the distinction there. Pretty, but not gay or trans. I know, I wanted so badly to be able to type with 2 hands, right? Okay, but come on. Most people do play the color game. And that's what I mean when I'm talking about the gender stereotypes. I'm not saying it's actually inherent to women. Feminine is whatever females do. Right. But so what the fuck is that? You know, why in the world do we have this idea of masculinity that is so, like, oh, I don't know. Compared to the idea of femininity, masculinity is deep and complicated. Okay? And it has all sorts of, like, honor and what you call, doggone it, pathos built into it, right? And then there's the concept of femininity, which is tea parties and long dresses and frilly shit. And spend them like, huh? Like, these two things are not equal at all. Oh, my typing isn't much better on a keyboard. Same. But there's always that hope, right? As opposed to with the thumbs, there's no hope, you know? And obviously the obvious answer to this question is, you know, that men have gotten to define themselves, right? And I, you know, women used to have our own, like, culture and stuff, and we don't have that anymore because we gave that up to join the boys club like 150 years ago. There are gender stereotypes that are based on what society wants, not what is innate. Yeah. What are you saying bingo about, Joe? Like, that's probably my least favorite part about all of this, is that, like, you guys respond to what I say, and then I don't remember what I said. So, like, because I've interrupted myself to read what you wrote. And I happen to know that those are two different parts of the brain. So, that makes some sense. Reading comprehension and verbal comprehension are two different parts of the brain. So, like, I'm ping-ponging back and forth over here, you guys. You ever wish you could just climb in an fMRI and watch your brain light up while you do stuff? Like, you know, screw Google Glasses. Like, if they had one of those I could carry around with me and I could just watch my brain all day, that would be so cool. Imagine the kind of biofeedback loops you get going with that thing, huh? Over half of U.S. adults cannot read better than a fifth grader. Okay, that's sad. Scott coming in left field with the non sequiturs again. I've been making hula hoop videos. Awesome. Have you been posting them or just making them for fun? Oh, another ad interruption. That's why I got quiet for a second. Thank you guys. Thank you for sitting through stuff. I'm going to have to go in a minute. I got like 7 views on my last one, not to brag. Ooh, it's going to be 8. It's going to be 8. Where's your channel? Yeah, is it your... I mean, you have several different handles that you go by, so... Your favorite YouTube premium. Me too. Me too. Okay. Mary Generics, not Mary Jane RX. Or it is supposed to be Mary Jane RX, and I was right all along, but like... Then you said it out loud one time, and I was like, ow! Yeah! Yeah. Yeah, that's... I was right all along. It was... neurodivergence for the win, I guess. Like, I'm not going to say I'm not, but I'm not autistic. Oh, did you catch that part? Like, YouTube has been recommending me autism. YouTube thinks I'm autistic. It has been recommending me autism videos for 5 years or some shit like that. And I finally broke down yesterday and watched one. It was this autistic lady explaining the differences between autistic and ordinary communication styles to other autistic people. Spoiler alert, I'm not autistic, because I was just sitting here going, oh, honey, oh, no, oh, I see how you got that, but, no, you know, like, it was only some guy from my past who I met online who called me Mary Generics. I am so not artistic. I'm not autistic. Right, yeah, thank you, right? Like, but, like, I did a lot of looking into ADHD a few years ago, which I may have, but I don't care. And apparently there's a link there. So, yeah. I finally just went ahead and bit. Like, I can't believe it took 8 years. Oh, definitely maybe ADHD. I can't believe it took, 5 years, all those years it kept recommending me. I just kept waiting for them to go away. And finally I'm just like, all right, fine. I'm definitely weird. Let's see if it's this kind of weird. Nope. And I think to some extent ADHD is a trendy mental illness right now. Again, same with verbal tics and gender dysphoria. Oh my God, don't forget DID. I would definitely bet you have ADHD. I do as well. Again, there's a decent chance I do. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to take those pills anymore. I don't care. Not to nitpick, Bill, but I don't think ADHD is a mental illness. There's argument for it being an alternative processing method or something of that nature. DID stuff drives me up the wall. Yeah, right. Oh, man. Some of that stuff takes me back. Okay. Like, I thought I had DID last summer. Found out it was about IFS parts work. IFS. What's that? I don't care either. It's really just a name for a certain style of thinking. Right. It's right. At least ADHD, verbal tics, and gender dysphoria are accepted psychological diagnoses. Many psychologists debate whether DID is even a thing at all, and it's almost never diagnosed. Internal family system. Okay. Gotcha. So you got a lot of that work done then. That's good. Congratulations. That sounds so stupid to say to that, but I'm glad to hear that. Right. Yeah. And, you know, I looked into that one because I didn't really know much about it. And I don't know that, yes, it helped me figure out that the parts in my head talking to each other are normal, not DID. Yeah. And, I think to some extent, compartmentalization, psychological compartmentalization, that's some syllables right there. Psychological compartmentalization is normal and healthy and can sort of wax and wane. You know what I mean? Uh, and, somebody's made a few good points, which is that it's a normal thing everyone has. Right. That in my experience waxes and wanes. Right? Everybody has many identities. Just listen to somebody answer the phone. Right. We're all multifaceted. And that's what I was talking about last week with the gemstone. You can only see, maybe one or two faces at once. That doesn't mean they're not all there and connected up in a perfectly reasonable way. Just because you can't see all of that at once does not mean it does not make sense. Oh. What you doing? You're moving? Okay. Oh my God, Joe, how do you pronounce the last part of your username? That's an insane word. Oh, happy nappy kitty. Yeah. I sound like that drag queen from today's video when I answer the phone. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, and River's fun to hang out with. His videos have that sort of cozy, chatty feel, or my favorite, the ones that a lot of them have sort of a cozy, chatty vibe to them. And honestly, his vibe has sort of inspired me a little bit here and there. Just because I find him so engaging and like his set and the way he talks about the stuff that he does for like the background and whatever. I found that so engaging, despite the fact that I am, lukewarm about the subject matter that he usually covers on his channel. My headphones just died, so I'm gonna have to go in a minute. As soon as my brain decides whatever random shit it's gonna play, I'm gonna have to go get my other headphones and I'll have to go in the house, and so I'll have to go. I might as well go anyway. As a matter of fact, I tend to be the same person everywhere, and people find that exceedingly weird. Nice. Are you autistic? No, I'm kidding. I need to go back and watch the video you did this morning. I was too depressed to get out of bed. Oh, yeah. No, it's a fun one this week because I wanted to hang out with somebody I didn't loathe. So he's I don't know, I think River's about my age. I called him an old queen, but like it's lighthearted this week mostly. Who knew that people would find you authentic when you're the same everywhere you go? I mean, really. Oh. You'll have to let me know what you think of the musical reference at the beginning because I had fun with it. We are old. No cap. Oh. I can't stand it when you have to hide who you are to such a large extent around others. Can't make actual friends with them. Right? I'd rather argue with my friends than hide from them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you could say that about everybody, though. Right? Like, it's good to be old, better than to be 24 or 35. Well, I mean, I I just don't feel old. I don't know. Somebody earlier was trying to tell me I look young, and thank you. But that's the thing. It's like I don't feel decrepit. I don't feel old. I don't feel aged. I don't feel like, if anything, I feel like I'm starting to have some idea of what the fuck is going on, which is kind of nice and kind of scary. But that's it. Like, I have a baby face. Oh, thank you. Let's die at those ages. Oh, yeah. Sorry, there was a little thingy in the way. Oh my god. Okay, my girlfriend's computer is fully defragged. Doing a malware scan now. Ooh, good luck. And then I hope you find nothing. Okay. I feel like we don't have a good spot to end on. But it is 10 after. 15 after. Holy crap. Here's a fun thing I discovered when we did 3 hours the other week. Oh, and my throat is getting dry. My throat's starting to hurt. When we did 3 hours the other week, like it's limited ad suitability. I'm like, what? It must be because it's long, right? That must be it, because there's nothing in there that isn't in any of the rest of these. I hope you don't feel old. I don't feel old. I'm 20 years older than you. Right on. See? Yeah. You just said you were getting ready to go to a trampoline party. So, yeah, that gives me hope. I have no interest in doing that, but like the idea that I might be able to in 20 years is good. That's hopeful. Given the computer a clean bill of health so far. Fantastic. Yeah, you need to take care of your husband. Yeah. Well, and just like, okay, we have hinted at we're having a crazy day around here. This is but one aspect of today's insanity. Okay, the cat is but one aspect of the insanity that is the day. And, personal life is personal, and like he is waiting on me for stuff, suffice to say. And that's fair. So I could always become a cougar. Like what, and eat him? Nah. My partner is 48, so maybe I'm only as old as the boy that I'm feeling. You have a great week too, Philological. Oh, is he okay? Yeah, no, he's okay. Like, everything's gonna be okay. It's just like a couple of things just hit the fan all at once. That's all. And I gotta go deal with it. And his life. So, that's the point that you're feeling. That's funny. That's funny. And getting off of here is always so difficult. May the force be with me. May the force be with you as well. I need to come up with some kind of a tagline like that for my magic system. Such as it is. Magic system, I use the term loosely. Like, that is not the point of this. And I've said this before. I am not Brandon Sanderson, okay? Reading my books is not going to be like, I don't know. I feel like magic is not science. What is this? But anyway, I'm not the point. I rat mom out, right? Yeah, and his mom and dad are 15 years apart. His mom, with his mom being older. Oh, nice. My 35-year-old nephew is married to a 67-year-old. Wow. Oh. No. He and I are like, we went to high school together, so I dig that. It's nice to have somebody who gets your cultural references. But anyway, Ha.
Good pull on the het end.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I do. I need to come up with a tagline like that for my magic system. Because hooks. Good pull on her end. Okay. There we go. Because marketing hooks. Oh. I want to leave no stone unturned. Don't get that twisted, like, okay? I am putting my heart and soul into this book and y'all know it. But when it comes time to market this bitch, I will pull almost no punches. And I say almost because I don't want to use child labor and whatever. Like, I want to be ethical. But when it comes to marketing, I don't want to pull almost no punches. Okay, like, I want this thing to get out there to the point where everybody knows about it. That's the point, right? So, get ready for some cheesy shit when that time comes. But, thank you all for coming to my show. I'll see you next week. What? Are you trying to get me to go hang out with my husband? You confuse me sometimes. I love you guys. I gotta go. It's raining again and the sun is starting to come out. I don't know what's going on. See you guys next week.